I was actually looking at my phone this morning and
Oh, let me guess.
yeah, notifications just blowing up. 3 emails that needed answers yesterday.
Right.
News alerts about the economy, and I just realized something.
Yeah, it's hot.
We are basically running modern high-speed software on ancient hardware.
Oh, absolutely.
We're anxious, we're distracted, and honestly, I mean, most of us are just barely holding it together on a daily basis.
Which is, that is actually the perfect setup for what we're covering today. Because the book we're looking at argues that the solution to all that isn't a new app or a vacation.
Or a different job.
Right. It's actually a completely new operating system for your mind.
A personal operating system. I really like that framing. So today, for our deep dive, we are talking about the Daily Stoic, or Soshinim Gunlu in the Turkish edition we're examining.
By Ryan Holiday and Stephen Hanselman.
Exactly. Now, I have to be completely honest right off the bat here. When I hear the word Stoic, I still picture a guy in a toga.
Standing in the rain.
Standing in the rain, refusing to admit he's cold. Just totally emotionless. Spock from Star Trek, basically.
Yeah, you are definitely not alone there. That is the single biggest branding problem Stoicism has.
It really is.
We think of Stoic with a lowercase s, meaning you just, grit your teeth, suppress everything, and suffer in silence.
Right, just tough it out.
But the philosophy, capital S Stoicism, it is completely different. The authors make it clear in the intro, it's not about having no emotions.
Okay.
It's about not being a slave to them. It's actually a very vibrant, action-oriented way of living.
So it's not about being a robot.
Not at all. The source material highlights that this philosophy has been used by everyone from, George Washington to Super Bowl coaches.
Wow.
It's about self-mastery, perseverance, and wisdom. Finding tranquility, and this is key, not by hiding in a cave.
But finding it right in the middle of the chaos.
Exactly.
Okay, that sounds much better. But looking at the text, the people who wrote this stuff, originally, they weren't exactly living modern lives.
No, they weren't.
I mean, these guys are ancient history. How relatable can they really be to you and me today?
That's the most fascinating part of this whole thing. We're focusing on 3 main voices today, the big 3 of Stoicism.
Okay.
And their backgrounds are so diverse, it almost sounds like the setup to a joke.
A slave, an emperor, and a playwright walk into a bar.
Literally. First, you have Marcus Aurelius. He wasn't some professor writing in a quiet library. He was the emperor of Rome.
The most powerful man on the planet at the time.
Literally. Dealing with wars on the border, plagues, killing his citizens, betrayals in his own court.
So he's essentially the ultimate CEO level, high stakes, high stress.
Way beyond CEO.
Yeah.
He had absolute power, which is usually corrupting, but he used this philosophy to stay grounded.
Okay, and the second guy.
Then you have Epictetus, totally different end of the spectrum. He started his life as a slave.
Wow.
He was crippled likely by a cruel master, so he knew powerlessness and physical pain in a way Marcus never ever did.
And the third one is the playwright?
Yes, Seneca. He was an artist, but also a billionaire by modern standards. A high-level political advisor who, he eventually faced a forced suicide.
That is a wild mix of people.
It really is. And the fact that the emperor and the slave came to the exact same conclusions about how to live.
That tells you it's universal.
Exactly. It proves these aren't just academic theories. These are battle-tested strategies.
So the mission of our deep dive today is to see if we can take their collective wisdom, this operating system, and use it to control our perceptions, direct our actions, and just find some peace today.
That's the goal.
All right, let's get into the code of this operating system. If we strip it all down, what is the absolute core command?
The foundation.
Yeah, what's the foundation?
The authors lay this out right at the beginning. If you look at the entries for January 1st and January 13th, it's called the dichotomy of control.
The dichotomy of control.
Right. It sounds simple.
Yeah.
But it is incredibly difficult to actually practice. You basically have to divide the world into 2 piles.
Okay.
What is up to you and what is not up to you.
Okay, I've heard this before. Control what you can, accept what you can't. It sounds great on a coffee mug, but in practice, it's messy.
It is messy because we usually categorize things wrong. But the Stoics are ruthless about what goes in which pile.
Give me an example.
If I asked you, is your career in your control? What would you say?
I'd want to say yes. I mean, I work hard. I show up on time. I try to be good at my job. So yeah, I control my career.
A Stoic would say no. Not in your control.
That feels wrong. If I work hard, I get promoted.
Maybe. But here is the distinction. Your work ethic. in your control.
Yeah.
Your preparation in your control.
Yeah.
The skills you choose to learn in your control.
Right.
But whether your boss actually likes you, whether the company goes bankrupt, whether the economy crashes and they lay off half the staff,
None of that is up to me.
none of it.
So the input is mine, but the output is the world's.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And the list of things we actually control is shockingly short. It's basically our mind, our choices, our judgments, and our character.
And everything else.
Everything else, your reputation, wealth, the weather, traffic, it's ultimately external.
Wait, hang on. There is one thing in that external pile that really bugs me. The source mentions on January 1st that our body is not in our control.
That's right.
Surely, if I eat junk food and never exercise, I get sick. If I run and eat kale, I'm healthy. I control that.
You control the choice to eat the kale.
Yeah.
You control the will to put on your running shoes. But you could do all that perfectly and still get struck by lightning.
That's true.
Or develop a genetic condition. Or catch a weird virus on the subway.
That is terrifying, actually.
It's reality. And here's why this distinction matters so much. If you tie your happiness to being healthy, you are setting yourself up to be crushed if your health fails, despite your best efforts.
I see.
But if you tie your happiness to, I made the healthy choice today.
That is something no one can take away from me.
Exactly. You succeed the moment you make the right choice, regardless of the outcome.
It completely shifts the goalpost from the result back to the process.
And that is where the freedom comes from. January 9th talks about this mental shift. We torture ourselves trying to control events.
Give me a day-to-day example.
Let's say your flight is delayed.
Oh, the worst.
Right. So we stand at the gate, we get angry, we tweet at the airline, our blood pressure spikes. Does any of that fix the plane?
No. But it feels like we're doing something. It feels like justice, I guess.
That's the illusion. We think our anger is energy. But the Stoics say you cannot control the event. You can only control your opinion about the event.
So I have a choice.
You can choose to see the delay as a personal insult and a total disaster, or you can choose to see it as an hour of quiet time to finally read a book.
That choice is your superpower.
Exactly.
It actually reminds me of the serenity prayer. Grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change.
Right. The authors reference that explicitly around Jan 1st. It's about having the wisdom to know the difference.
And when you really get this, when you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you reach that state described on February 4th.
Invincibility.
See, usually when I hear invincible, I think of Superman. Nothing can hurt him. He wins every fight.
We usually think invincibility means I always get what I want. But Epictetus argues real invincibility is a state where nothing outside of your reasoned choice can upset you.
So it's not that you don't lose your job or don't get sick. It's that those things just don't break you.
Yes, if your peace of mind depends only on your own choices and your own character, you become untouchable. The economy trashes, you lose your luggage, your character remains completely intact.
You are still you.
Exactly.
That is a very high bar. I mean, knowing what to do is one thing, but actually doing it when you're tired and stressed out is another.
Oh, for sure.
Does the book give us a way to actually implement this? Like, how do I start my day so I don't immediately fall into the trap of trying to control everything?
It does, and it's very specific about the morning routine. It's not just drink water and do some stretching. January 21st outlines an interrogation.
An interrogation of who?
Of yourself. Epictetus suggests asking specific questions the moment you wake up. What do I need to do to be free of negative emotions today? And this is the big one. What am I?
What am I? That is a deep question for 6 a.m. before I've had my coffee.
It is. But the answer isn't, I'm a host, or I'm a parent, or I'm an accountant. Those are just roles.
So what's the Stoic answer?
I am a rational being.
A rational being.
It's a reminder to yourself. You aren't just a bundle of nerves and appetites. You are a mind capable of reason. It sets the whole tone for the day.
Now, there is another technique mentioned later around April 6th that I found really, well, honestly, I found it kind of jarring.
Yeah.
It's called the premeditation of evil.
Premeditatio malorum. Sounds pretty gloomy, doesn't it?
It sounds terrible. It basically says, wake up and tell yourself today people will be rude, selfish, ungrateful, and annoying.
Right.
Why would I want to start my day with that kind of pessimism? Isn't that just manifesting a bad day?
It's not pessimism, it's armor. Think about it. When do you get the most angry?
Usually when I'm surprised, like I didn't expect the traffic to be this bad.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You didn't expect the rude email from that coworker.
So the surprise is what triggers the emotion. I can't believe you said that.
Yes. So the Stoic removes the surprise. You tell yourself, look, I'm going into the world. The world has selfish people. I will probably meet one today.
Okay.
Then, when someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of flying into a rage, you just say, there it is. I predicted this. I knew this was coming.
You're almost gamifying it, like you just spotted the NPC you were looking for.
In a way, yes. And the text adds a great layer of empathy here, too.
Yeah.
It reminds us that these people aren't acting this way just to target you personally.
Right? They have their own stuff going on.
They're acting out of ignorance or their own issues. They can't actually hurt your character unless you let them make you angry.
Speaking of anger, this is probably the emotion I struggle with the most. And I feel like we live in a culture that kind of glorifies it, don't we?
We really do.
The angry coach throwing a chair, the intense CEO screaming at employees because good enough isn't good enough. We see it as passion.
We see it as fuel. We think I need to get angry to get this done. But the entries on February 1st and 10th completely dismantle that idea.
How so? Because it feels strong when you're in it.
The Stoics argue that anger is actually a weakness. They compare it to a crumbling building.
A crumbling building.
Yeah, it looks dangerous because it's falling down, not because it's structurally sound.
Oh, wow.
Or they call it bad fuel. Sure, anger might get you to work faster,
Right.
but it's dirty energy.
It produces pollution.
Exactly. It stresses your body, it ruins your relationships, and it just wears down the engine. Plus, you can't make smart, rational decisions when you are seeing red.
So real strength is keeping your hands steady when everyone else is shaking.
Composure is power.
Let's flip the coin to anxiety then. Because if anger is usually about what happened in the past, I can't believe they did that, anxiety is usually about what's coming next. There's an entry on February 3rd that links anxiety directly to that control concept we talked about earlier.
The source makes a fascinating point here. Anxiety is almost always caused by wanting something that is outside of your control.
Can you give me a concrete example of that?
Sure. Let's say you have to give a big speech or a presentation.
Okay.
If your goal is, I want them to give me a standing ovation, or I want them to think I'm really smart, you are going to be incredibly anxious. Why?
Because I can't control their hands. I can't
Yeah.
control what they think of me.
Right. You are pinning your emotional state on the whims of strangers. But if your goal is, I want to be as prepared as possible, and I want to speak the truth as clearly as I can.
Those things are entirely in my control.
Exactly. So if you shift your desire to your own internal effort, the anxiety should theoretically disappear, or at least diminish significantly.
Because I'm not anxious. I'm just busy working on the part I actually own.
You got it.
I really love the metaphor they use on February 19th for this. Life is a banquet. It really stuck with me.
It's one of the most vivid images in the book.
Yeah.
Imagine you were at a fancy dinner party.
Okay.
A big platter of food is being passed around the table.
Yeah.
If it hasn't reached you yet, do you lean over the table, stretching your neck, watching it like a hawk, desperate for it to arrive?
No, that would be incredibly rude. And frankly, pretty desperate.
That's anxiety. Yearning for the future. When will I get the promotion? When will I meet someone?
Right.
Now imagine the platter passes you by. Do you scream and grab at the waiter?
That's greed. Or envy.
Right. A polite guest waits until the dish is in front of them, takes a moderate portion and passes it on.
The Stoics say we should treat life the exact same way.
Yes. Don't yearn for what hasn't happened yet. Don't cling to what is passing. Just deal with what is on your plate right now.
It's such a gentlemanly way to view the universe. It just feels very relaxing. Just wait your turn. Be polite.
It removes all that frantic grasping energy that exhausts us. It's about being present. And there's another concept related to this from February 15th about waking up.
Oh, right. This is about nightmares.
Yes. Think about when you're having a nightmare. You are terrified. Your heart is racing. It feels incredibly real.
Hey, you wake up in a sweat.
But the second you wake up, you realize it was just a dream, and the fear vanishes instantly.
Right.
The Stoics say we need to treat our daily emotional upsets the same way. When you are spiraling over an email or an offhand comment, you are asleep.
Lost in a perception.
You need to wake up and realize that the thing upsetting you is largely a figment of your imagination.
That is a powerful idea. Wake up from the stress. But here is the practical problem I run into with all this.
Let's hear it.
We can do all this internal work. We can have the perfect morning routine. And then we walk out the door and our friends or our coworkers just drag us right back down into the drama.
Ah, the social environment. This is huge. March 9th covers this perfectly. They reference Goethe's famous idea,
Tell me who you spend time with and I will tell you who you are.
the average of 5 rule.
The text is pretty harsh here, though. It basically says if you hang out with people of low standards, you are going to slide down to their level.
It's inevitable. Emotions and habits are contagious. If everyone at your lunch table is gossiping, complaining about the boss, obsessing over things they can't control,
You're going to join in eventually.
you can't be a stoic monk in a frat house. You have to be aggressive about curating your circle.
But isn't that a bit unrealistic or even elitist? We can't just fire our family members or coworkers because they aren't perfect stoic sages.
Really can't.
Sometimes we're just stuck with people who are kind of messy.
That is a very real problem.
Yeah.
And that is exactly where the concept from March 10th comes in, the Cato construct.
Okay, break this down for me. Who was Cato?
Cato the Younger was a Roman senator who was basically the gold standard of integrity.
Like the ultimate role model.
He was the guy who couldn't be bribed, couldn't be scared, refused to compromise his principles, even when it was dangerous. So the advice here is, since you can't always have a real Cato in the room with you to keep you in line, you need to create one in your mind.
Like an imaginary friend.
Think of it more like an invisible witness.
Oh, okay.
Before you act, or when you feel like skipping the gym, or when you're about to send that snarky tweet because everyone else is piling on, you imagine this role model is watching you.
Would Cato do this? Would he be impressed by this?
Exactly.
Like an external hard drive for your conscience.
I love that. Yes, it keeps you honest. It provides a standard to measure yourself against when the actual people around you might be lowering the bar.
Okay, so we've got the morning routine to set the stage. We've got the Cato defense for social pressure. I want to talk about the mechanics of how our mind actually processes things in real time.
The testing impressions part.
Yes, in April. To me, this felt like the most technical part of the operating system.
It is, but it's also the most practical. Our minds are just impression-generating machines. Something happens. Let's say you walk into a room and someone frowns in your direction. Your brain instantly, in a millisecond, stamps a label on that event. They hate me.
Or I look stupid.
Or I did something wrong.
And we don't even notice we're doing it. It just feels like absolute truth.
Right. And the Stoic practice is to insert stop sign right there. You have to catch the thought before you accept it. You literally talk to the impression.
You talk to the thought.
You say, wait, let me see who you are. You verify it. Is this fact or is this interpretation?
The fact is a person moved their facial muscles.
Yes. The interpretation is they hate me. The Stoic accepts the fact, but challenges the interpretation.
And what if you realize the interpretation is about something you can't control? Or that it's just noise?
Then you delete it. The phrase they use is, this is nothing to me.
This is nothing to me. That sounds a little cold.
It's protective. March 8th uses a great analogy here. If you were walking down the street and a stranger ran up and tried to grab your arm and drag you somewhere, you'd fight them off right.
Absolutely. I'd be furious. I'd call the police.
But we let strangers drag our minds anywhere they want.
Oh.
A random comment on a video, a rude driver, a headline. We hand over the keys to our happiness instantly.
We just let them drag us into anger or fear.
The Stoic says guard your mind even more fiercely than you guard your body. Don't let strangers in.
That is a scary realization. I defend my physical space so intensely, but I just leave the front door to my brain wide open.
And that is exactly why the evening routine is so critical. You can't just do this all day and hope you did well. You have to check the data.
This is the January 22nd entry, Seneca's evening review.
Yes. When the light is dim and the day is done, Seneca says he examines his entire day, hour by hour.
What is he looking for? Just listing victories.
He asks 3 specific questions. What bad habit did I curb today? In what way am I better? And were my actions just?
No, I have to play devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
For the perfectionists listening, and I know there are a lot of you out there, this sounds like a total trap.
How so?
I can easily see myself lying in bed, replaying a stupid thing I said at lunch, beating myself up, spiraling into guilt, and then just not sleeping at all.
That is exactly what you need to avoid. The text is very clear on this. This is a court of mercy, not a court of punishment.
Court of mercy.
It's accounting, not guilt. You look at the mistake, you say, okay, I lost my temper at 2 p.m. Why? I was hungry and tired. Okay, tomorrow I'll eat a snack before that meeting.
Yeah.
You learn from the data.
And then
And this is the most important part, you go to sleep. You let it go.
you close the books on that day.
You don't carry the debt into tomorrow.
That's the balance right there. Accountability without the self-loathing.
Precisely. If you beat yourself up,
Yeah.
you're just indulging in another negative emotion. The goal is improvement.
So looking at this whole system, the dichotomy of control, the morning prep, the testing of impressions, the evening review, it is a lot of work. This isn't a quick life hack.
It is work.
Yeah.
But as the entry for January 2nd reminds us, education is freedom.
Freedom.
The goal of all this of this whole deep dive into the source material isn't just to be smarter or to impress people at dinner parties. The goal is to be free.
Free from what, exactly?
Free from the fear of what might happen. Free from the endless need for more stuff. Free from the confusion of just not knowing what matters.
I want to leave everyone listening with a thought from March 11th that really stuck with me. It mentions living without restriction.
It really ties everything together beautifully.
It does.
If you stop wanting things you can't control, if you stop needing the traffic to be light, stop needing the weather to be perfect, stop needing everyone to agree with you.
You suddenly remove all the restrictions on your own happiness.
You stop banging your head against the wall because the wall isn't moving.
And you get all that energy back, energy you can use to actually just love your life and the people in it.
That is the real promise of the philosophy.
That's the ultimate payoff. So here is our challenge to you listening right now. Don't try to become Marcus Aurelius overnight.
Please don't.
Just pick one tool we talked about today. Maybe it's the Cato Invisible Witness. Maybe it's just looking at a stressful email and asking, is this in my control?
Just try it for one day. See if it changes the temperature of your mind.
Thanks for taking this deep dive with us.
It was a pleasure. Stay strong.